When he was just 12, his mother had finally begun trusting him to stay home alone. They lived in a small, peaceful town, the kind where nothing bad ever seemed to happen. Wide lawns, quiet streets, friendly neighbors. It was the sort of place where even walking alone at night didn't feel dangerous. That sense of safety was exactly why his parents let him stay by himself that weekend. His sister was away, and his grandparents weren't available. So for the first time, the house was his. His parents, still young and social, were out with friends. They left money for pizza, expecting everything to go smoothly. For a 12-year-old, it was paradise. Freedom, pizza, and video games. He had just beaten one of his favorite James Bond games, Nightfire, on the PS2, and popped in another, Agent Under Fire, while waiting for the food. Around then, he called Johnny's, the family's go-to pizza place, just a few blocks away. It had been closed for years now, but back then, it was a neighborhood staple. He ordered a plain pie and waited. When the doorbell rang, he rushed downstairs with a $20 bill. The delivery guy looked to be in his 30s. Grimy beard, glasses, black trucker hat. He didn't look clean or friendly, just off. He handed over the cash and told the man exactly how much change he needed. That's when it happened. The man looked up at him, then passed him into the house and asked, "You alone here?" His gut twisted. He knew it was a weird question, dangerous even. His parents had warned him about questions like that. He quickly lied and said his parents were on their way home. The lie was clumsy, but maybe enough. He closed the door quickly, ate a few slices, and wrapped the rest in foil like his mother instructed. Then he went back upstairs to play. Time passed quickly, lost in the world of the game, until sometime around 11 p.m., the doorbell rang again. He assumed it was his parents and rushed to the door. Without thinking, he called out, "Mom, Dad." But the voice that replied was not one he recognized. "Hey, I need help." A pause. He asked, "Who is this?" "I just need to use a phone," the voice said again. Calm, too calm, his skin crawled. He didn't dare look out the window. Something in his brain told him do not open the door. Instead, he backed away and went upstairs. He was halfway up the stairs that directly faced the front door, when he heard the man again. "Wait, please, I need help." The man could see him. He froze and looked down. Though the porch was dim, he saw the shadow of a head behind the frosted glass. The man was staring at him, watching. Panic surged. He ran to his parents' bedroom, the only room upstairs with a phone. He called his mother's cell. She answered, tipsy and relaxed, until he told her someone was trying to get in. Her tone turned sharp. Cold, sober, she asked if he'd spoken to the man, if anyone knew he was home alone, and then it clicked. The pizza guy, he told her how he asked that question, told her how it didn't feel right. The doorbell rang again, once, twice. The man wasn't going away. His mother ordered him to stay in their room, lock the door, and keep the lights off. She and his father were calling the police. He stayed on the line as they stepped outside the restaurant to get better reception. All the windows in the house were cracked open. It was summer, and that's when he heard it, the side gate creaking open. He whispered it to his mother, "Stay quiet, stay put," she said. Then he asked, voice trembling, "What if he tries the den window?" "Stop talking," she whispered back. "Just wait, the police are coming." Then came the sound that froze his blood. Footsteps inside the house, soft, careful, moving. He whispered it to his mother. She gasped, then screamed into the other phone to the police. "He's in the house. He's inside. Hide under the bed," she said. "Don't make a sound." He obeyed. Trembling, breath held, he crawled beneath his parents' bed. Up the stairs came the slow thud of footsteps. They reached the hallway, past his sister's room, his room, then Silence. The intruder was checking the rooms, one by one. His mother whispered that the police were close. "Don't move." She kept repeating, "No matter what." Then the footsteps returned, closer, heavy, purposeful. They stopped outside the master bedroom. The doorknob rattled. It was locked. The intruder tried again, then a knock, not loud, not rushed, just deliberate, and then silence. He didn't say anything, didn't dare breathe. The footsteps retreated, fading away toward the stairs, and then nothing, not a sound. He lay under the bed, frozen in fear. His mother whispered that the police were there, but he had to wait, stay hidden, and then he heard them, heavy boots stomping through the front door. A voice shouted his name, a man identifying himself as a police officer. His mother told him he could go. He crawled out and unlocked the door. 2 officers were upstairs, 2 more downstairs. They didn't need to break the door in the back. One was wide open. The back window was slid all the way open. That's how he got in. The police took his statement. His parents stayed on the line the whole time. He told them everything. The voice, the footsteps, the pizza guy. When his parents returned, only 2 officers were left finishing up the report. The next night, his parents took him to Johnny's. They wanted him to identify the driver, but he wasn't there. They described him to the manager, who said it sounded like Phil, who was currently out on delivery. But when they explained what had happened, the manager shut down. He insisted it couldn't be Phil, then asked them to leave. Outside, they waited. An hour passed. The man never returned. They were sure the manager had warned him. The family called lawyers. No one took the case, not enough evidence. They never went back to that pizza place. And after that night, his parents didn't leave him alone again for a long, long time. He always believed it was the pizza guy. Who else could have known? Who else would have come back? Back when I was a teenager, my parents and I moved from California to a remote part of North Idaho. They had just retired and built their dream home deep in the back country. No neighbors, just miles of dense forest stretching into national parkland and logging grounds. The house was huge, 2 stories with a gym, full bar, pool room, and even a legit home theater in the basement. It felt like something out of a dream. Peaceful, secluded, perfect, or at least that's how it seemed. I was dating my high school girlfriend at the time. One night, while my parents went out for dinner downtown, I invited her over to hang out and watch a movie. We had the whole place to ourselves. I cracked open a beer. Yeah, I was underage, but figured it didn't matter, and we headed down to the movie room to watch Gladiator. Everything was normal at first, but around the middle of the movie, must have been close to midnight, I suddenly felt this overwhelming sense of panic. Like my body knew something I didn't. My heart was pounding, my palms sweating. I kept glancing at the uncovered windows behind us, which looked out into the pitch-black forest. I didn't want to scare my girlfriend, so I tried to shake it off. We even got a little intimate during the movie, but the entire time I couldn't stop feeling like we were being watched. I had no idea from where, but I was sure of it. After the movie ended, I walked her upstairs and out to her car. The house was eerily silent again. Once she drove off, I turned to go back inside, but realized I'd left the lights on downstairs. In the bar, pool room, and theater, I went back to shut everything down. First, I turned off the lights in the movie room. I paused. My eyes drifted to the big window that faced the backyard. That's when I saw him. A man, dirty, scruffy, looked homeless. Wild hair, filthy clothes. But what froze me was his face. He had the biggest, creepiest grin I've ever seen. Eyes wide, glassy, deranged, and in his hand was a knife. He was lightly tapping it on the glass. Tap, tap, tap. For a second, I thought I was seeing things. I slowly backed away, made my way to the barroom to turn off the rest of the lights. That room had a sliding glass door facing the same direction, toward the woods. I flipped the light switch and watched in horror as the man calmly walked from the window to the door. Same expression, same dead stare. Now we were less than a foot apart. Only the glass between us. He didn't try to get in, didn't move at all, just watched me. I went upstairs without a word. As I hit the landing, my parents walked through the front door. I looked at them and said, "I think I need to be committed or something. I swear I just saw a guy with a knife watching me from the backyard." My mom's face went pale. My dad didn't say a word, just narrowed his eyes, walked to the gun safe, grabbed his rifle, and stormed outside. I asked my mom what was going on. She said there have been a few break-ins around here. A guy's been wandering through the woods trying to get into homes. What you described, it matches. We called the police. They found nothing. No broken windows, no footprints, just dark, silent woods. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. That night, as I was trying to fall asleep in my second-floor bedroom, right above the movie room, I started hearing this light tapping sound. It sounded like metal against glass. Tap, tap, tap. I told myself it was nothing. The sound went on for hours. It kept happening, night after night. Sometimes it would stop for a while. Other nights I'd wake up around 3 a.m. and hear it faintly again. Once I even thought I heard footsteps on the roof. I checked the windows but never saw anyone. Still, the feeling of being watched never left me. Then winter came. My parents had to go out of town for a few days. They were still nervous about what had happened, so before they left, they gave me a shotgun just in case. We also had a Rottweiler, huge, sweet dog, totally silent unless something was really wrong. One night, I heard slow, crunching footsteps in the snow outside. Heavy, deliberate. The dog stood up, ears sharp, low growl rumbling. Then he exploded, barking, snarling, ferocious. I'd never seen him like that. I stayed dead silent, didn't move. I didn't want whoever was out there to know I was home. Then came the knock. Slow, hollow, taunting. I didn't answer. That night, I slept with the shotgun next to me, door locked, blinds down, dog curled at my feet. The next morning, I stepped outside, and my stomach dropped. Fresh human footprints in the snow. They circled the entire house, every single window, like someone was walking slowly around, peering in, looking for me. I followed the prints. They led off into the woods. I trailed them for about half a mile before they started zigzagging, doubling back, like whoever made them was trying to throw me off. Something told me not to go any farther. I turned back. That night, the tapping came back. Louder this time. I knew it was him. I unlocked my door, grabbed the shotgun, and stepped onto the second-floor deck. I flipped on the fog lights that lit up the backyard. There he was, same man, same manic smile. Same dead eyes, knife in hand. He was staring at me, straight through me. I raised the shotgun and shouted, "If you don't leave, I'll put one through you." He didn't flinch, didn't blink, just kept grinning. I fired a warning shot into the air. That got him. He staggered, then slowly backed into the woods, still facing me. That's when I let the dog loose. I ran downstairs, threw open the sliding door, and released him. He shot off into the woods like a black missile, snarling, barking with fury. He had a shock collar, so he couldn't go too far. But I like to think he chased that guy off for good, because after that night, I never saw him again.